I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
What's up, guys? Oops Podcast. Welcome back. Giulio Gallerati, Ryan Lynch.
Hello.
We're doing the Lord's work. We are joined by special guest today, comedian, podcaster, all that shit, as well as old friend of mine, Ted Jones.
What's up, boys?
What's up, dude?
What's up? Happy to be here, man.
Teddy, I have many nicknames for him.
Dude.
They have evolved over the years. It's one of those, I don't know if like certain people are just like nicknaming people. I happen to be one of those people. And if you are a nicknamer, you know that your nicknames evolve over time. Currently, I've been calling you, what have I, Shanuda. I also call him
probably the most recent one.
the Noodler, William, Lanington Lowe.
Dude, a lot of nicknames.
What's the origin of the Noodler?
The Noodler, Shanuder became the Noodler. I don't know where Shanuder came from, though. I think that might have just been a random one, Shanuder.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, I will say, I haven't spent much time in this room. It's very chic.
It's a good
Hillary
little room,
decorate
man.
this room for the most part?
I mean, yeah, she decorated the whole apartment for the most part. We put the wallpaper up sort of for the pod, but we
it's
actually
wallpaper?
The sides are wallpaper, yeah. Which, by the way, dude, wallpaper is not an easy thing to put up on.
No,
your
I
own.
can imagine. You guys did a good job.
We
right?
didn't do it.
Yeah, okay. Right.
We hired people, and it took them 7 hours, and like was super involved. Required the biggest bucket of water you've ever seen in your life.
Water, really?
Yes.
Did you use a TaskRabbit?
I believe so.
I know you're a TaskRabbit guy. I've
We're
never
TaskRabbiters.
used a TaskRabbit. Have you?
Do you do it yourself?
No.
How'd
I
you
don't
do-
know. I don't know if you're setting up like a flex or something.
No.
Isn't your TV mounted? How'd you do that?
Yeah, that was the
Super?
super. Just give him $50.
Yeah, that's the move. The move is to just juice the super. He can do anything if you live in an apartment.
And he really appreciates it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That, dude. Well, I actually hate watching people mount TVs. It's such a like violent process in a way, and I get that it's like streamlined, but watching them like struggle to like get the TV onto the thing, I'm like, the wall is going to rip out of the
I
wall.
thought that you would put the screws in between the bricks, you know, where they have the pave, what's it even called?
I don't know.
Spackle?
The studs.
Yeah, in the spackle. But
Yeah.
apparently that's just the complete wrong way to do it.
You have to do it like into the studs
Yeah.
of the building, whatever the fuck that means. But they have that like stud finder thing that they all use.
Yeah. Not really a handsy guy, dude.
Do you have brick in your apartment? I remember that once. I forget.
I do.
And you have mounted television on brick wall.
Yeah.
I don't know how you mount on brick.
I mean, I don't, but, you know, solid.
Well, dude, we're old pals. I've known this guy for, I don't know, 20 years.
Yeah, man.
Like probably up and or close to
Close
that.
to it. At least, I mean, over 15 for sure.
Close to 20 years. One of my best friends. It's been interesting to see your sort of like life trajectory and your life change, which I'm kind of specifically interested in one thing for today,
Yes.
despite how interesting of a guy you are. I'm curious about fasting because to me, you know, I've read all this stuff about fasting. I'm like, oh, and we've all seen the sort of, well, we haven't necessarily all seen it, but there's all the famous stuff out there about how it repairs your cells and all that shit. And that Disney show with Chris Hemsworth, have you watched it?
No, I didn't see it. You've been talking about it for a while. I just
watch
don't have Disney Plus.
You gotta
I
get my
gotta
login, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, no, actually, you have the Amex where you get it for free. You just have to sign up.
Oh, okay. I guess I got to do that.
Classic OG oops topic. Yeah, digital entertainment credit, bro. That's how I get it for free. But anyway, like that famous guy, Peter, whatever, the like fasting guy.
Attila?
Peter Attila,
Yeah.
the famous
I saw him on
fasting
Rogan,
guy,
yeah.
talking about it, the repairing the cells. I'm currently in the midst of doing a fast mimicking diet from one of our sponsors, ProLon Nutra.
Okay.
So basically it mimics how your body would feel during like a fasted state to try to kind of get all the benefits of it. So I'm in the second day of doing it.
So how long, what's the,
It's 5 days.
okay, but what does it look like?
So, okay. It's like in the morning I have to drink this like thing. I have to drink it the whole day. It has some like formula in it. And then there's like this tiny little bar for breakfast and you drink like an herbal tea. And then it's like soups and like some crackers sometimes, some olives sometimes. But it's like it's like a small amount of calories, but it's supposed to like make it so you don't get hangry. And then supposedly cut me saying supposedly. And then, what's supposed to happen is you sort of get that same benefit of like whatever what are the terminology? Autophagy,
Autophagy.
autophagy.
Yeah.
And so you strike me as a guy who has a pretty good understanding about this.
I feel like for the most part, I've done a lot of research on it, but I just go on based on the way that it makes me feel. And I usually will feel more locked in. Like if I'm working for an extended period of time, if I'm editing something or just working for 4 hours or doing a podcast like yourself, I just find that if I break that time up and eat, I just feel so much more like lackadaisical on like after I eat. I just feel my body's breaking down the food that I have in my system. So I'm just like not as sharp when I do that.
As they call it.
What's that?
Like after you eat, you get tired.
Yeah. That's how I feel for the most part.
Lynch, what's your relationship with that phenomenon?
I'd yield to what you just said. I get that too. I get tired. I get a little foggy.
You guys are both guys who don't eat before you perform.
Yeah, I mean, I could potentially eat 3 or 4 hours beforehand, but I'm not the person who's eating a slice of cheese pizza beforehand, which I see all the time, and I don't understand. Yeah. And I'm sure you see people eating steaks at the stand beforehand.
I could theoretically do it.
Like right before you go on stage?
Like, and at the cellar too, people order like a huge meal, and I'm like, all right. Like I don't want to do that. But like for a 10 or 15 minute set, like I don't have to like change anything. Right. If I'm going to do like if I have like a long night, I don't want to eat anything that's going to make me feel like I have to go to the bathroom.
Well, you have some nuts before.
But like I can eat just like I can just eat normal food, whenever it makes sense. I can eat it before, I can eat it in between shows is maybe the ideal. But all right, before we deep dive into the fasting itself, let's rewind to 10 years ago. Okay, you're 24. Me and this guy, we used to have big nights.
Wednesday. Sorry, go ahead. Wednesday at 3 a.m. What's the next move, dude? Ridiculous.
So we were making big moves back then, dude. And I was in the smack in the middle of my.
You can hang with the youngins. I tell you that.
Yeah, I guess I could, and I potentially sort of still can, but like I don't know. That's like an old dude thing to say. I can hang with the youngins.
No, but I mean, you're what? Like you're 5 years older than me, and
you're 91 or 92.
91.
Yeah. So
and if I was ever hanging out with maybe even younger people who are 2 or 3 years younger than me, you were always able to drink, always to stay out late.
We would have big nights together.
Huge nights.
And so Ted had a job at the time.
Yeah.
So like,
sorry, dude.
It would be the middle of the week, and like we would have this like big night. Like we'd go out, like formerly a guy who was sort of involved in nightlife and stuff, so we could get in like anywhere and like have a huge night potentially, like chicks, like partying, like great time, whatever, and then just like figure it out at work the next day. Insane. And like you were also potentially a like late night McDonald's guy at one point. Yeah. How does one like stop being like that in the middle of adulthood?
I think it was the jaw surgery that really changed up my whole perspective on life.
But it was also just like so he had to involve jaw surgery, which we can talk about. Yeah. But it basically forced you to like take a break from your habits.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I promoted clubs for a very long time, like 6 or 7 years on and off. Like when I went to college, anytime I would come back, I would go out and I'd see the promoters that I would usually see just throughout an extended period of the summertime in between college and then before I went to college. So I was heavily involved in nightlife, drinking a ton, going to bed late, eating shitty, just doing everything wrong for the most part. Because I feel like
when you're young, you can get away with it, right?
Right, you can get away with it. But then also, I think playing tennis and being so disciplined for all those years, it's just like you have so many responsibilities that once
you don't have it anymore.
Right. But also when I was drinking, when I was eating terribly, I was also so fit because I was playing tennis all the time. So
that's how we know each other, by the way.
Yeah, tennis, just from a long time ago. But that's when I think that just carried over. My bad habits carried over to when I was not playing tennis. So then I started to gain weight. And I remember one specific time you're like, dude, you putting on a little weight.
I said that?
I think you may have.
No shot.
You might have said something to the fact where you initially said it. Yeah, I initially said it. And I was eating trail mix every night. I gained like 30 pounds. And then I was able to lose it. And then I think that was kind of the point when I started to take fitness more seriously. probably when I was like 25, 26.
You were
around that
never overweight though.
point. No, but I was definitely getting there.
Heavier.
Lanington Low.
Yeah, but I don't associate
know that
Lanington
picture?
Low. Lanington Low is like there's a picture of him that
You
is
gotta
my
pop it up.
phone.
Lanington Low. I'm pretty sure it's my icon on your phone when I call you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But and this is not this photo is not intended to like embarrass you. It's just
Yeah.
funny. It's like
No, it's a funny photo.
This
Me
Lane-
smoking
Lanington
nugget
Low.
on my couch.
Lanington Low was we were just joking that it was like
Yeah,
the
an
attorney,
Esquire. Yeah,
your
yeah.
attorney, and it was this guy who just smoked a bunch of weed. Lanington Low. But you were never fat, dude. Like, but anyway, so I hopefully you
I was
don't.
out of shape.
I don't, because there are certain
I had the
people who try to
lady,
remind
bro.
you of that,
Because I had all these ailments in my body, and then
which could have been a product of you like slowly getting out of shape. Maybe. What do you think? You think?
Yeah. Yes, I think so. And then also, it was also right before the jaw surgery.
The Laney, by the way, is just he had a bunch of injuries and we didn't know what caused it, so we just called it the Laney.
Like,
Like internal?
Dude, torn labrum.
Oh, so I guess we do kind of
hamstring, back.
They just weren't
everything.
healing. Yeah.
No. And it
All
was for
within how much
years.
time?
For like 3 years, I had a different ailment every month. Gout.
Oh, yeah.
Gout.
Bro. Terrible. I had so many different things, man.
Gout is crazy.
Gout is beat.
Gout's the king's disease.
Yeah.
Right? It's like an ancient thing.
Yeah. Too much wine and cheese.
Wine and cheese, dude. Okay, so like, all right, because I want to make it clear, like there are certain people who like feel bad about themselves, so they want to like, look how bad you looked here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing that. You've never looked bad. You
No,
always look good.
I'm aware. It's all good.
So he got jaw surgery because his jaw was like crooked. Was it bothering you? Did it hurt?
No, I just went to the orthodontist for the first time in 10 years, and he was like, he showed me a lineup of my face with the measurements, and he was like, your face is a little crooked.
So was
And
it
then
going
he
to
was
get
saying-
worse?
Yeah, he
It
was
was gonna
saying
be
my
like-
jaw was gonna. And that's where the face came from. Dude, that was one of the first things we ever worked on, by the way. And like, there are a good amount of comics in that, right? Or was
sketch?
it mostly Yukon people? Did you ever see the face?
No.
The face
Well,
is a sketch. It's funny.
yeah,
We
Karen
made this little
Feehan.
sketch. This is before. Were you doing comedy even yet at this point?
I don't think so,
I
no.
don't think so. So
When I
he
was
would
still
always
dating
hang
that
around
girl.
and just like, got the lay of the land before he decided to take the dive in. But yeah, we made this sketch, whatever. But so, okay.
I was just talking about the face.
It's a funny sketch.
Yeah.
But so you got this surgery because it was going to make your face all fucked up.
Well, I think one side of my face was going to continue growing.
Yes.
And the orthodontist suggested that I needed to get surgery to like recenter my jaw. So I went and saw this surgeon, and he was explaining the whole surgery to me. And I had I thought it was going to be probably a tenth of as dramatic as it ended up being.
Yeah. So the surgeon, like, how'd you find the surgeon? Did you know?
Dr. Hanna. He was a referral from my orthodontist. That's
And
how I
your
knew him.
orthodontist you've been going to forever.
Yeah. He first gave me braces.
Fully trusted his
retainer.
recommendation.
Yeah.
So you went to the surgeon, and so basically, when you get the surgery, they have to break your jaw.
In 3 places. So I have metal in my face.
And bro, your face looked so crazy after that.
Yeah, you want me, should I send a
Yeah.
picture?
This is a
If
crazy.
you
Like,
send one, I'll put it in, yeah.
Okay.
you guys don't understand how dramatic the swelling is.
Is it accessible? Could we see it?
Show him right
Like,
now.
could I
Show
see it?
Lynch if you have it.
Yeah,
Dude.
my phone is out there.
Oh,
You could just. Whoa,
what?
dude!
No.
That's your reaction. That's gonna be your
I'm
reaction.
sure. When
so.
was it? Because I'll find it in 2 seconds.
July 2019, and that was the whole transformation of my life. That was like I would say that's the third rendition of Loans.
They
That was
broke
like
your
the-
jaw in 3 spots?
Yeah, like here, and here. So for almost 6 months, I couldn't have any solid food, and that's when I slowly transitioned into veganism. I don't know if you mentioned that, but I'm also vegan now.
Teddy's a vegan.
Yeah, so I couldn't eat any solid foods for about 6 months.
And then your dad had sort of like dabbled in being a vegan and stuff.
Yeah, and my sister, but it was just much easier to slowly start to eat the soft foods, and I was like, all right, well, I just wanted to try it, and then from that point forward, I stopped eating as much fish. And then as of probably like around 5 years now, I've been fully vegan, where I won't eat cheese or anything with dairy or meat in it.
Got it. So, and then during this time where you're recovering from the surgery, it took months for you to recover from it.
Months, and I had no idea, and it was so painful.
Yeah, it seemed absolutely insane. I felt terrible for you.
Yeah.
And then like, it's sort of like,
I remember one specific
it wasn't
time.
healing perfectly either, right? At first, like it took longer than they thought.
Yeah, I remember one time it was with you and Hillary. We went to some sandwich store, and I was like, "Oh my god, those sandwiches look unbelievable!" And they're just opening their mouths, and they're just
Was that tough?
to watch you open your mouth. Yes.
Lynchy, I have completed the ProLon 5-day fasting program. I feel great.
You look great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel that way too. And I feel really optimistic and positive about the year ahead. This was a great way for me to kick off my year. And it's not too late for you guys to do it too if you want. So during the January fasting challenge, a new group starts every Sunday, which will sort of is included when you go online and purchase the 5-day kit. So basically you get coach-led fast with expert support included when you purchase the package. It's great to have the community connection. It's just a great thing overall. And it's a really approachable, easier than it would be if you were just to not eat for 5 straight days. This is a fasting mimicking diet. So basically you get all the benefits from fasting without having to actually fast, if that makes sense. Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised at how not hangry I felt during it. I felt pretty good the whole time. I felt pretty present. I was able to do what I had to do, and I had a lot of work to do, and I was actually able to do it at a higher level than I'm normally able to. So basically, you're going to get a box with everything that you need. You don't have to start it right away. You can basically start whenever you're ready. And in each little sort of quadrant of the inside of the box is basically your entire day of food and what you're going to be having. And I just feel really great. And I've always felt in my life that when I've been able to accomplish a reset, that the spoils have been endless. So I'm really excited to see what life is like moving forward. Anyway, highly recommend trying it out. I survived. I think you can too.
Giulio is a survivor. So if you're ready to make 2025 your healthiest year yet, order your ProLon 5-day kit at prolonlife.com/oops and join in on their fasting challenge today. New groups start every Sunday in January. Plus, ProLon is offering Oops the Podcast listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition programs for your post-holiday glow-up when you go to prolonlife.com/oops. That's PROLON life.com/oops.
Well, now you're this disciplined guy, which you were not before.
Yeah.
I would argue that it's difficult to sort of make that change in the middle of adulthood. Usually that's like, you either got it or you don't. And, or like you find God or something. Like you didn't like have.
I think that was also a little bit of it too, man. Like I didn't eat for days at a time, and that was right off of when I stopped doing so many drugs, and then maybe it was pain pills. I don't know. It was definitely a transformation.
Transformation. Yeah. And yeah, like you weren't doing any of that shit for a while, which it can make a difference. Like I've even like one time I got really sick, and then like on the heels of that, I just like got insanely healthy.
Yeah.
Cause like for 2 weeks I just like didn't drink and didn't do any bad shit. And then I just like kind of rode that momentum. And, like,
but also at the same time though, like I was still, like you said, I was kind of just hanging around. I was still going to a bunch of comedy shows. Like I was always trying to dabble in it, doing open mics once a month, following you around, seeing other people do stand up. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe that was just the thing that pushed it over the edge.
Right. Where you're like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life.
And I think that was the podcast starting around that time. Like when you started this podcast, that was kind of around the time that I wanted to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. So I think it was just the things came together. And
so, okay, fasting. Now, you have gone like 60 something hours before without food, right?
66 hours.
Is the record.
Which is not that impressive if you look at the scale. Remember I sent you this guy's TikTok who's on day 38 of a fast?
But dude, that can't be good for you.
What does he look like?
I mean,
emaciated, or does he look solid?
Harold is fasting. If you want to pop up.
Is he currently fasting?
Yeah, he's about to finish day 40. So by the time you guys put this up, he's probably done. But he's doing it for like religious purposes and health.
Is he benefits. Like? What is his religion?
He was like 195 pounds, and now he's like 165. He's on like day 35. Yeah, that guy.
Jeez. Well, good for him. So like what supposedly happens while you're fasting? What's the phenomenon?
I think it just clears out all of the toxic cells in your body during that
supposedly,
time.
Right?
Supposedly, yes. And when your body's not focusing on digesting the food that you currently have in your system, it eats the bad cells that are in your body.
But it does but not to feed itself, but to like troubleshoot. Like it gets it. The way I understand it is the body goes into this like mode where like the fact that you're not eating, like something must be wrong. So it starts looking for problems.
Well, yeah,
and in doing that, it cleans up all your bad cells.
And it also starts looking for the fat that's in your body that you already have, that's stored there.
But that doesn't start to happen until
that's like
a certain time, right?
Hour 24 or hour 20. Because humans, you know, up until probably like 100 years ago, we really didn't have food every single day. You know, like it's only been a recent phenomenon where we're supposed to eat every 4 hours that we're awake, something like that. And back in the day when we were around hunting, we wanted to be agile and be like, oh, there's some food over there. We need to preserve this food. You eat as much as you can over the 16-hour span. Then for 3 days, you don't have food.
Right. And in this Chris Hemsworth show, they go to this like, you know, indigenous tribe in Africa or something. I forget where it is. But they show how like, and the people always say that if they haven't eaten for a while, like all their senses start to improve because it's like a genetic thing to like an evolution thing that like your body will be more able to like hunt properly.
Your HGH goes up. And I think that's also part of, if you're out hunting and you haven't eaten for a few days, maybe you want to look more jacked to the other animals, and the other animals are like, whoa, this guy's jacked. I don't want to mess with him. That's my only thought for why that particular thing would happen. But there's a lot of science behind it. And also the way that I just feel better. I feel more sharp if I'm able to prolong until I eat next.
Yeah. It's funny because there's also a lot of sort of opposing science. But like, I agree with you. Like if I'm ever able to like do things like this, like when juice cleanses were a big thing, I used to do those.
I used to do so many juice cleanses. I remember that.
Which maybe I went a little overboard, but like the same feeling, it's like a similar kind of feeling where like the first day it's like kind of tough or whatever. And then you like wake up the second day and you just have like all this energy. You're like, holy shit, like this is like a crazy how good I feel. And then you like want to keep going with it. And obviously
How long was the longest juice cleanse that you did?
Probably like 3 complete days.
Yeah.
But like, it's not the same as fasting because you're still having like 1,000 calories a day.
Yeah. I think for me, from the hours of like 16 to 19 are very difficult, where I'm like, all right, I want to eat. But then once I hit the 20 hours, then I start to feel good again. And then right before I go to sleep, I get insanely hungry.
And
first
like
night
energetic.
and second night but the first and second night are very difficult.
And then, but you've gone what? You've gone 3 full days.
Almost 3 days, yeah.
And
which is not even that impressive though in the fasting community, you know? This guy's going 40 days, brother.
It's crazy.
Is there like a is there like a pride thing in terms of like getting your hours up? Like, do you like feel like, oh, I need to hit that hour mark in order to like feel good?
Maybe a little bit. It is rewarding when you, as you guys know, when you tell yourself you're going to do something and you do it, you're like, oh wow, that was remarkably hard, but I did it.
Yeah.
If it's like any scale, you know what I mean?
There is like an emotional reward to that, where it's like, if there is a thing that you are fully in control over, that's not easy to do, but you're able to do it. Like you do feel as if you can do anything, which is a very good feeling. And in a way, it's like a good way to start the year, start the whatever. So like, to me, like doing this at the beginning of the year has been rewarding because, they also say it's like good. It's good to like reset. It's good to like do a little diagnostic readjustment. And even though there are naysayers or skeptics who are like, well, science doesn't really support it, I believe it. I believe that it's a thing.
Kevin James on the Joe Rogan podcast, you know that guy, King of Queens?
Of course. Yeah.
He said he did a 41-day fast.
And he like lost a bunch of weight, obviously.
Yeah.
He was like a big
lost
guy.
like 60 pounds.
41 days.
41 days, yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Absurd.
At what point for you do you notice like the value curve go back down? Like, is there like on the 5th day or the 6th day, are you noticing that you're not getting as much out of it as you were during the days before it?
That's a good question. I think it's important to stay active in the beginning stages of it. And then maybe once you get to the 4th or 5th day, you want to conserve your energy. But I find that if I'm able to go a stretch of like 3 or 4 days where I'm doing a 20-hour fast and then like a 2-hour eating window, I start to really notice significant benefits in my nails. I can't stop biting my nails. I'm terrible at biting my nails, but I notice that my nails look healthier. My skin looks healthier. I start to get less inflammation. I just notice that my body heals itself if I am not spending a lot of time digesting food. That's what I noticed just from
and that's what they say happens.
Just how I feel. Yeah,
that is what they say happens, and I believe that. I'm willing to believe that that's a thing. But I would love for it to become like more mainstream also. So that,
people, for the most part, if I talk about this, people are like, dude, that's bad for you.
yeah.
Shut up! Let me do what I got to do, man. Yeah, because like I think maybe like World War II, man. This granola and breakfast became a huge thing over the last 75 years. That was a World War II thing? Yeah, it was just like, look, all these soldiers are eating granola as soon as they wake up. You got to eat granola. You got to have bacon and eggs. You know, this is like our grandparents started thinking about this, like how you need to break the fast right away as soon as you wake up, be more healthy, have energy. But I feel like it just slows me down. If I have a bagel or something huge in the morning, I just feel exhausted by 2 p.m.
Yeah, I feel that. There's a world where I can get on a schedule where like eating breakfast right away makes sense, but like the fact that I have to do so much at night usually. I
also eat. I find myself eating very late. I usually do eat right before bed. Like I'll stop eating at 11:30 sometimes, and then I'll go to sleep by 12:30, and then I usually won't eat my first meal until like 4 p.m. the next day, something like that.
Crazy. But he's always at the comedy shop doing spots and stuff, so like I get that. But Lynch, do you have any relationship with any of this stuff?
I guess so. You mentioning like being sharp. I've noticed unintentionally when I don't eat, I am more focused than ever. Whether I'm editing something or completing a ton of tasks, like my level of focus is insane when I like forget to eat. Now it's not an intentional choice to not eat, but when I'm in that zone, I feel like food does not matter and it's not necessary.
Yeah.
And then like you mentioned, I do feel a little bogged down once I do finally eat. But typically when I'm in that state, I'm not eating healthy things. So I guess after hearing you speak, I've never like given myself a chance to see what it would be like if I were to like eat healthy after doing that, a fast like that. But they're never intentional. They're never planned. They just kind of happen.
What's the longest you've gone without eating? If you can put a number on it, if you know.
I'd say within the last, I think this trance that I found myself in has only happened over the last couple of years, maybe one day.
Like 24 hours where you went to sleep and didn't eat the whole day?
Yeah.
Without being sick though?
Without being sick.
Yeah. That's also something like you can go 36 hours if you're dying sick and you just everything's out of your body. That's different though.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever even made it to 24. I've made it close. And if I'm ever in a scenario like that, I always text you about it because I'm like,
big dog.
I'm like 20
big
hours.
Dog, gotta eat.
It was December 23rd going into December 24th, 2022. That was the night. That was the day.
What happened?
I stayed up all night editing this video that I was really excited about, and I woke up that morning. I had the whole day to work on it, and I worked on it for the whole day, and I didn't go to bed until the next day, and then I ate.
Solid.
And also, animals, if they're injured, they don't eat. They'll fast. It's something that's underrated that people don't really ever talk about.
I've heard people say this.
Right, like, but when animals are sick or injured, they just won't eat. They'll just fast.
They can't like go hunt and shit, right?
Right. Yeah. That's
or
also
whatever.
something.
I mean, I guess
like go to the fridge.
Yeah, dude. The other thing too, it's like if you're gonna do something like that, like it's hard to carve out the right time to do it. Like I've found. So like, say that I'm planning to do something like that, and then suddenly I have to go to this like social obligation. Like I feel weird about being in there and being like, oh, I'm fasting. I don't want to deal with the smoke, which is maybe like something I could improve on. But like,
it's also
you seem to not care.
No, I don't give a shit. Well, it's also like, dude, being a vegan, I can only eat so many things. There's only so many different foods that are, and not everywhere is vegan friendly, especially if you go to a gathering like this. There aren't really many vegan options.
Got it. So you sort of like are relegated to eating the fucking edamame or whatever only.
Or the lettuce.
Or the lettuce.
Do you have a phrase that you say when, like, the breakfast situation, people will be like, oh, why aren't you eating anything? Like, do you have something? Because I bet you've gotten that a ton over the years. And like, is there a polite way to just like get them to stop asking follow-up questions to whatever your answer is?
I think, most people who know me know that I'm vegan. And dude, to be honest, I don't really care about being polite or not. But it's just there's such a social, I don't know the word.
Stigma?
But yeah, that's a good word. Social stigma around eating and when to eat and what you're supposed to eat. But yeah, as long as something is vegan, I'll eat it. And usually by the time I'm around people eating, it's at a time where I would theoretically eat.
But what if you were like, all right, I'm fasting for 3 days now.
Yeah.
And like, do you plan it during a time where like you don't have anything to go to?
No, I think if I were to plan a 3-day fast out, I would probably look ahead. That's a good question. Look ahead to what I have planned at that specific time. You know, like I wouldn't really plan out a 3-day fast. Like when I went to my family's house in Philadelphia, I wouldn't plan it over Christmas where I know that my cousin who's cooking went out of his way to cook a lot of vegan
Exactly.
dishes.
And then you like feel like a dick.
Yeah. So I think there is some planning, but like this guy, Harold, I know we're giving him a lot of clout right now, but he's fasting for 40 days. So I'm sure that there are a lot of things in his way.
Harold is fasting.
He is.
You can bleep his name out if you don't want to give him credit.
No, I think that's his whole thing.
Yeah, we gotta give him some credit. These guys.
No free
he's
shout outs,
fasting,
dude. Yeah, dude. Because like for me, I'm like, all right, in a perfect world, if I'm going to fast for 5 days, I want there to be no food in my house.
Yeah.
I want to literally
That's
not.
also a huge part. You gotta clear out the house.
I
or
literally
go to a desert island.
Right, which is like no longer possible for me. I live with someone else, and like I can't expect her.
But in one of your travel videos, man, you can go to, like I was telling you about that Nelk Boys video. You just go with an uncontacted tribe, and you have to like hunt your own bats.
That's crazy. Well, so I get, all right, fine. But like, that's a crazy thing to orchestrate. Like, let's just say I want to like do a fast. Okay. That doesn't,
in New York.
it doesn't correspond with some survival video. Yeah.
But that would be a good way to do it.
I agreed. Actually, that's a good way to do it. But okay, I'm in New York.
Yeah.
Now, in a perfect world, I clear out my fridge. I don't go outside at all. I just sit around because they say you're supposed to conserve your energy anyway. So it's like a rare time where not being active doesn't necessarily hurt you. And, you know, I just like sit and do stuff in my house and I rest and I do it and that's it. And I don't have anywhere to go or anything to do. That's never going to happen for me. So first of all, the food thing, there's going to be food in the house. Maybe even not a lot, but like there's noodles sitting in the fridge right now. And like every time I open the fridge, I'm like,
Noodler in the fridge.
like, ignore the noodles. You're fine. And I've just begun this too. This is the second day of this program. And then
By the way, sorry, how long is this program that you're doing?
5 days.
Okay, yeah, you said that.
And then I have spots, and I can't not go do my spots at the cellar. You know what I mean? Like, and is it even worth it to like book out for an entire week because I want to do a fast? Like, it doesn't really seem like it, to be honest. So I'm gonna go do these spots. It'll be fine, I guess. You know what I mean? So like, there's always gonna be these like, it's never gonna be a perfect time to try it, but you know, we'll see. And I'm not even doing, you know, I'm doing like a fasting mimicking program.
The tea, I drink tea and coffee and seltzer and water during a fast. And the studies have been shown that it doesn't affect your fast and it doesn't, raise your blood sugar at all. But those things I do drink during a fast before I break the fast, if I were to, fast for an extended period of time. But usually it's around 18 hours. I usually go.
That's just like your standard lifestyle.
Yeah.
You're typically not eating for 18 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost always?
Almost always, yeah. Occasionally I wake up and I'm super hungry and I'm like, all right, I should wait to eat. And I'm like, no, I'm not waiting. And then I'll eat it. I don't really eat before 12 though.
And this is just like in an extreme form of intermittent fasting that you're doing.
I wouldn't say extreme, but it's definitely a form of.
Isn't like 16 the sort of like gold standard for the layman?
Yeah.
So you think that doing 18 is not extreme? It's just like standard?
I think maybe it's on the side of extreme, but.
More extreme for a normal range.
Sure.
Toward the extreme side of a normal range.
Yes. But I find like if I ate before this podcast, I don't think I would be as sharp. I'm not saying that I'm super sharp right now, but I think like I would stumble over my words more. And then I also used to smoke a lot of weed, which you know.
You've stopped smoking weed.
I haven't smoked weed in almost a year.
So even during this whole lifestyle adjustment, he was smoking weed still.
So much weed.
So what is the difference, do you think, with that, with weed or no weed?
I think I would have to give myself windows where I couldn't smoke weed. Like it was
during the weed time?
What do you mean during the
weed
time?
Era?
Yes.
The weed era.
The weed era. During the time where I was smoking a lot of nugget, I wouldn't do it right before a podcast. I wouldn't do it right before I go on stage. Like I'd have to give myself a 3 or 4 hour window. So now not smoking weed, I find that now I could just do more things because I'm not smoking weed. You feel me?
But you
Like,
used
I
to be
wouldn't-
able to smoke weed and go to the gym. He's one of
No, I
those
can.
guys.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, but like, so then
easily.
what would it prevent you from doing, really?
I think I just wouldn't be as sharp at a particular moment before I go on stage or before doing a podcast. Those are probably the two main things. That are the reason why I stopped smoking weed.
And you were smoking regularly
What was that
enough.
from, by the way?
Smoking weed is from The Wood.
What was the line?
He's like, I'm going to call that shit the Weed album. He goes, ain't nobody trying to hear no album about smoking weed.
And then who was in The Wood? Mekhi Phifer?
The Wood is Omar Epps. The Wood has Tay Diggs. And then two guys whose names I don't know.
It's just a random quote that I remember from years back.
Smoking weed. But anyway, so interesting. But you could like edit a pod high.
Yeah.
You were like a high functioning weed smoking
Yeah,
person.
I could do everything high besides potentially go on a date because I would be a little bit lackadaisical. If I didn't have to communicate, I could easily smoke weed. So then there you go. If I wasn't doing a podcast, wasn't on stage, wasn't on a date. If I didn't have to talk, good. I could go to the
Easy.
gym. Yeah,
Easy.
go to the gym, lift, and then go for a run. Perfect.
So did we all take supplements, or at least we know that we should? But sometimes it can be really confusing. What should we get? What brand? Why is it so expensive? And then it starts to turn into this thing where it just becomes overwhelming. But I got good news for you guys. There is a one-stop shop for all of your wellness needs, completely flipping the industry on its head, and that is LiveGood.
Wow.
LiveGood is a marketplace that basically orders all of the products that you might need, and they basically have cut out the middleman. They have all of their own versions of the product, so they can offer them for a much more reasonable price. Personally, I've been getting really into the CBD pain relief cream. As you guys know, I have a pinch over my neck. It's really been bothering me. This stuff makes a big difference. And, pain relief has definitely been one of my goals. So this has been great for that. And I'm always interested in energy and focus in both of those categories. These energy and focus patches are amazing. Super helpful. Throw one on your wrist and you'll be amazed at how good you feel throughout the day. But I'm very excited to kind of do a deeper dive and grab some more vitamins, grab some of the CBD oils they have. They literally have all of the products that you've ever heard of. And it's a great, easy, streamlined way to get the stuff that you want for cheap.
So you ready to make the switch and start saving? We'll make it even easier for you. Use our link and you can save an additional 10% off your first order on top of the already lowest prices. Just go to livegood.com/oops to save 10% on your first order. That's livegood.com/oops. Don't miss out on this opportunity to invest in your health without overspending. Wait a minute, is there something behind that super comfortable and versatile piece of loungewear?
GIULIO. Oh my God.
Holy cannoli.
Coloradi's behind the MeUndies, Lynch.
I was mesmerized because when I look at those, I just think about wearing them all day, staying in bed, and just touching myself.
They're cold, they're hot, they're whatever you need them to be, depending on the climate. Dude, I'm wearing these to Alaska. This will be my only style of underwear that I bring with me. I don't intend to bring anything that's more intense because I'm confident MeUndies has me covered in every environment, whether it's hot, whether it's cold. And it's amazing. This is the one constant in my wardrobe when I travel. When it's warm, I like to bring the low cut socks. When it's cold, I like the high top socks. I bring t-shirts, I bring hoodies. MeUndies is the only pair of underwear that I bring. This is the classic black boxer brief. This is my favorite. I have 24 of these in my drawer. But they have all styles, briefs. They have different kinds of boxer briefs. They have the kind of ball caddy bulging one if you're into that, trying to show off. They got the regular boxers. They have all sorts of different designs and styles for men and women, as well as great loungewear. You should check it out. It has everything you need for Valentine's Day. It has everything you need for any time of year. MeUndies has literally got you covered.
This Valentine's Day, good things come in big packages at MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/oops podcast. That's MeUndies.com/oops podcast for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. Has this always been your archetype build? What we're seeing today?
What do you mean?
Like,
Yes.
you're pretty lean and strong. I saw a video in Florida. You were shirtless on a skateboard, right? Or a scooter last week or a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that was
Where
in
you
LA.
1 week
yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And like, you got a great body. And I'm just curious, like, if you were like always built kind of like strong and lanky.
Yeah,
you kind of got like a tall lank, but with muscle on it.
Yeah, I think, well, during the time, like when Giulio was talking about when we used to be partying hard, drinking a lot, I was just, I think more of just a slender with some fat on me. Kinda.
Skinny fat.
Yeah.
I think I was.
But still athletic. Like still residual athleticism from like a decade of playing tennis intensely,
Yeah.
even if just like a little soft, but like still in like pretty good shape still overall.
But there was a period of time when I was drinking too much, doing too many drugs, and it wasn't good. And then I just changed over.
Yeah.
Too much McDonald's.
And I think it was the jaw surgery, man. It was the jaw surgery. It was breaking up with a girl who I was dating for a year, who was amazing. And then ever since like that relationship, I haven't really had any connections. That I think it's just more of the period of self-development over like the last 5 years, probably.
Yeah, it's the thing. Do you do New Year's resolutions?
I don't think so. No.
Do you have anything for the new year that you're like want to improve or adjust or goals?
I think just doing currently what I've been doing, but just do it at a higher level. You know,
Level.
Yeah,
that's good.
You know what I mean?
We were talking about that a little bit.
How about you? What are your resolutions?
I've been
Do you
talking
have
about
any?
this a lot, but I can reiterate still. One of them is to take more naps.
Naps are fresh, man.
Naps are good. You're a napper. You're solid.
Yeah,
napper.
Always had a good
2 or 3
relationship
days.
with them?
I mean, no. I think it's been more over like the last 2, maybe year and a half, 2 years. But dude, I could lay on top of my covers and understand.
Yeah, he's out right away. It's crazy.
Clasps.
I need to like.
I have to
learn
put
do
something
that.
over my eyes though. I gotta put my underwear over my eyes because I lost my mask.
You literally put your underwear over your eyes?
Yeah. It doesn't even need to be clean, dude.
Ew.
Just both
That's insane.
fresh nuts on my face, dude.
You gotta get you,
know, because
a
I'm vegan.
eye mask, dude. Gotta get you an eye mask.
Raw cashews are my favorite.
It's a good snack.
Nuts.
It's a good snack.
Any other snacks or any other high protein bites that you suggest to anybody that's thinking about going vegan?
A Vision.
I really love avocados. The rice and beans are just simple pita Mediterranean foods. I think that there are a lot of foods that you'd be surprised, especially if you're a good cook. I'm really not a good cook at all. But there are so many foods that you can either put the replacement butter in. You could put maybe not replacement cheese. Vegan cheese isn't that good.
It's not there yet.
Yeah. But there are so many things that you can replace with what you put in your animal products and just replace it for plant-based options. You know, there's so many different recipes. And again, I'm a terrible cook, but I'm also not a foodie. That also helps with not eating because I'm not like
He
looking
doesn't
at
care.
shit.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
dude. If it's vegan, I'll eat it. But I'm not like looking for foods. I'm like,
We gotta try
the
the chocolate crepe.
yeah,
from
and
fucking-
that's also like a big dating thing too. Or like I don't know about you and your girl. Like if you guys are like, oh, I'm craving this tonight. You ever do that?
No.
People do
We
that
do
though.
that.
Couples do that. Yeah.
We do that.
Like, I'm craving this stuff on the. You know, I don't know if you're gonna cut this out, but the deli on the corner has merch. Did you see that?
I know.
It's hilarious.
Sick. I know. I have some of it.
Do
Those
you
guys
really?
are fresh, dude. Yeah, you should
They
have
are-
talked to them.
No,
They're
they
cool.
are dope.
Yeah, but dude, so we definitely do that, and like that is sort of like an expensive way to be, like, which is fine. But like, if you're like, oh, we got to try this spot, or we should go here, like, it's fun. It's fun to do all that stuff, but it's definitely like a new kind of way you're living your life that is not always conducive with like being super duper healthy. Just because like places make stuff to taste good, and like
yeah, dude, the
they
oils
usually don't
and
cook
everything
it
in there.
as healthy.
Remember, we used to go to Sugarfish a lot.
yeah, well, that's like straightforward though. That's sushi.
Yeah, it's healthy, but I just remember specific places that I used to go.
Used to hit
before.
hard. I still hit it hard. Dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I still hit Sugarfish hard. But yeah, I mean,
John Fish.
we definitely like go to the spots, crave the thing, and like I'm grateful that I have a dynamic enough life that like I'm like, oh well, this night's gonna happen. I'm obviously gonna drink that night. Well, then I have this night. I'm gonna drink that night, and then I'm gonna go here. I'm obviously gonna eat the food they have.
Yeah.
And it's at some point you do have to just like make sacrifices if you want to like make some kind of change. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I would love to date someone who is either a good cook or knew of restaurants that were really good because I'm neither of those. I'm just not really that interested.
You need a good cook who cooks stuff that you can eat. Also,
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, so? Are you like looking for like a companion? What's up?
I don't know, man. It's been a long time since I've been with someone for like more than a month. It's been like 5 years since before my jaw surgery. So I don't know. Kind of like I'll go on dates here and there, but I'm not specifically looking for anything right now. I'm solid the way I am.
Who's the prototype?
A talented woman, you know. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I don't
You don't
think
care?
Yeah, I don't know.
You mentioned that
Woman who would potentially live close to me. That's it. Nice to me. Maybe pretty would be nice. Funny.
Lives near me. Funny, cool, pretty.
Is there anything else?
The lives close to me is the most specific sort of thing.
Yeah, I just think that the schedule that I'm currently on, there are things in my life that take up a lot of time. And if somebody lives, and being in New York City, don't get it twisted. It is very difficult sometimes to travel to certain places. If somebody's 30 or 40 minutes away, it's sometimes difficult.
And the important point here is that 30 or 40 minutes away might only be like 1.7 miles.
Yeah.
If you're like going, even driving, but like on the train, like literally that's normal. So like being a mile away is not always created equal. And I think some people are like more averse to accommodating that than others. You being a good example. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's fair.
Were you about to say something, Lynch?
Yeah, I was going to ask, over the last 5 years, you said that you were focusing on your personal development. What was your biggest takeaway, or what did you learn about yourself that makes you feel like this version of Ted Jones?
That's deep.
That's deep. Bro.
I think that when I decide to be disciplined, I think I could be pretty disciplined. And I think there've just been over like each 3 months, I find that I'm kind of doing something differently. Like over COVID, I found that I got probably in the best shape of my life, and that took a lot to get there. And once I was in the best shape of my life, I was like, oh my God, there's so many things that I'm not doing that I would want to be doing. And it's hard to maintain certain things in life that you deem are so important at that particular time. Like when I just started being vegan, there was so many things that I sacrificed, and it was like the end all be all. I was still smoking a lot of weed, but I wasn't drinking. I was only eating once. I was only eating once a day, and I got super shredded. But dude, every single day I was dying. I was like, oh my God, I want food.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like the amount of times, dude, that I would open the cabinet and look for a snack and be like, nah, you ain't gonna eat that shit.
Is there a way to be just like absolutely fucking shredded and like living a normal, fulfilling life?
No.
It's impossible, right?
No. And it's you see it all the time on social media, but like those guys don't really talk about behind the curtain. If they're on the sauce, if they're taking SARMs, if they're
SARMs is like a steroid, basically.
Yeah, like
right?
minor leagues, a AAA version of steroids. They
Why
say it's healthy because they say it's
better for you?
healthier, and there's maybe more research that has been done on it recently, but it's still a steroid. But I think that fitness influencers don't talk about what's behind the wall, what's behind the curtain, about how much it really takes to stay that insanely fit. If you see somebody on social media who's that insanely fit, it's either they're on steroids, they're on SARMs, which is what I said, or they are remarkably disciplined.
They're weighing their food. They're sleeping 12 hours.
Yes.
So, and it's funny. A lot of those guys, like you'll see their girlfriends, and their girlfriends are like, you're like, oh, like I'd expect this guy to be with like somebody hotter, not to be a dick. But it's because like you become a loser. Dude. If you're just like too crazy about it,
you can't go out to
social.
Sugarfish.
You can't do shit.
You have to like weigh your food.
You can't go to Sugarfish.
You bring your little pre-made dinner when you go out to dinner. Dude,
whack.
it's very hard to maintain any sort of social life. You can't drink. Forget about unless you can have remarkably good genes, obviously, but
you can't drink at all.
I mean, no, you can drink maybe once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks.
Like one drink.
It's insane.
Crazy, dude.
It's insane.
Fuck. So, but you think that there's a way to like look pretty good and like live a pretty normal life?
I think right now, I think for the most part, I think I look pretty good, and I'm happy with the way I look. Could in 3 weeks, if I really decided to ramp it up, look better? I think so. But
like within 21 days, you could like change your body.
Yeah, I think so. I think I know the things that I would need to do. It would be remarkably difficult, and I don't want to do it, but I think I could do it. If somebody paid me the bag,
and I don't want to do it,
yeah, I don't. Send me the cash. You know what I'm saying, Lynch?
Yeah,
I could. Yeah, I feel like I could at that particular time, if I needed to, or something came along where I would do that. But Yeah.
When I was in that kind of shape, dude, I think I remember my days like made no sense though. Like I was,
I remember you were just doing so much cardio.
I was just like
think that's where you
Anna,
got that, yeah.
and then I was just like anorexic. I was like doing
that
cardio
video.
all day.
What was that video? You dancing in slow mo?
Oh yeah, I'm
That
like
ponytail?
165 pounds.
Yeah, dude, that's
Skinny as fuck.
Insane.
But I put on, I might have been 170. I started lifting weights like toward the tail end of that period, and I started to like put on a little muscle. Yeah. But for some reason, I just couldn't disassociate the idea that like putting on muscle was good. I was just like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight. I was like fully anorexic. But like, yeah, I would just like do cardio all day and not eat a lot. And
but
like,
you drink a lot too. I think maybe that's the only thing that you were consuming was just alcohol.
I wasn't drinking that during that time at all.
What was it? The time that we reconnected, though. I think from that point, you still got skinnier.
Okay, no. So from that point, I had just gotten back from LA.
And how many years ago was this? Like 8 years ago?
This is like May 2015 or something. And I had just gotten back from LA, and I literally for 3 months just biked around all day and hiked all day, and like all I did was cardio, and that was it my entire day. Because I was like supposed to be acting, and like my agents like ghosted me, and like I was just out there doing nothing. So I was like, all right, like I need to like do something that I have control over, or else I'm gonna like lose my mind. Because I had no money, no hope. It was terrible. So anyway, yeah, I just like got obsessed with like getting skinny, which was like I went overboard with it. And then when I got back to New York, I started being normal again, and I was able to kind of maintain that for years. You know what I mean? But eventually, you know what I mean, bad habits kind of like catch up to you. But yeah, I don't know. That's sort of the whole scoop there. Do you have any input?
No, I just remember. No, dude, I just remember like your head didn't fit your body because you were so thin at some point.
And that's when you know you're too skinny. It's true. Your head is like looks all big and shit, which can look okay. Like there is a degree of that where like on screen, there are these guys who are super skinny, but on screen they look normal. But like they might still kind of actually be normal. But like for me, like being in the sort of low 170s, high 160s range is like too skinny for me.
What was that movie role that Christian Bale did where he lost all that weight?
Machinist.
Yeah.
Do you think you could get back there if the role called?
I was never
Back there.
I've never been there.
No, but I'm okay.
Get there?
Yeah, sure.
No.
I think you could.
Bro, he was 120 pounds. And I think he
had
like he had like a collapsed lung or something.
He's been on, I guess, both ends of this.
He did Batman the next year.
That was the next year?
Batman Begins, yeah.
He ate one apple, drank a cup of coffee, and smoked a cigarette.
Okay, you and I talked about this briefly. How much would it cost for you to go on a 10-day water fast? How much would somebody have to pay you?
And you always are like, it will be the hardest thing you've ever done. How much would you do it for?
I don't know.
So I need to succeed in order to get the money, right?
Yeah. 10-day water fast.
It would have to be like 100K, dude, or more. And I don't even think I'd be able to do it for 100. I think I'd give up. I don't think it's enough money.
You'd have to. I think we'd have to put you on an island. Me too.
So that's the thing. So do I have to pay for all that stuff myself? If I need to arrange.
No. The network would pay.
Okay.
So GIULIO Gallerati
so they're
goes
putting
to the
me.
island.
Okay, they're putting me in a scenario where
that would actually be fun. That would be good.
Could they guarantee that he would live?
Pitch it.
What if they guarantee that you would live?
You wouldn't die.
He's gonna
you wouldn't
live.
die from that.
I know, but just like you losing your sanity, they wouldn't let you.
Yeah, they'd
hurt
give you
yourself.
bottles of water on the island.
I could tap out or like.
No. You can't tap
So,
out.
but I'll have coffee and seltzer and.
On the island?
I mean, will I be stocked up?
Seltzer store? Fresh
Because you can have
Hal's?
black coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe just start smoking cigs or something. I don't know.
Drink a
dude.
ton of coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know what to like. That sounds really tough. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, everyone could do it given the right price. There's
Really?
no way that even the most like undisciplined person, I feel like if you offered them a significant amount of life-changing money, that's a good little TV show, you know, or have Mr. Beast should do it.
10-day water fast competition show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude. So this is the thing. If the money, so the problem with the competition show is that too many people would succeed.
You think?
Yeah,
Well,
if it's
then
a
just make
10,
it longer
dude, if
than
it's
that.
10 days, well, then it
Juice
starts
it
to
up.
become.
You get extra money per every day.
Oh,
that you
interesting.
keep going.
But
So
yeah,
it starts off as you get whatever it is, 250K, and then every day after that you get like another 50 bands.
too many people would make it too far. I think it would be interesting, for, like you said, like one guy, even if it's me, I'm going to try to do this for 10 days. I can make this much money, blah, blah, blah.
You should do it, dude. We all want to see you do it. Can you imagine?
It sounds so.
It sounds like a
shitty.
sad Black Mirror episode.
No, but you
sounds
should
so
do it.
shitty.
Just document your entire journey, man.
Just sit in one room.
Hour 13. Fuck this, dude.
This sucks. Yeah, I'm like,
Water
fuck.
fasting in a dark room filled with mirrors.
I start eating myself.
You smoking heaters. You're like, nah, man, I'm doing it for the health.
Oh my god, dude, that sounds really fucking hard. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not super interested in doing that. But I will say this. But like the idea, there is something really nice about, because they say, they're like, all right, well, if you want to like make changes to your body, like doing it gradually is the way to do it. Okay, fine, I agree. But like, it's really hard to like get on that good path without like something to kickstart it. And to me, like doing something like what I'm doing right now, or like a juice cleanse, or like, and granted, sure, like maybe I'm doing it because I have a sponsor, and like amazing, like thank you for the sponsor and all that shit. But like, I still think that when you do something like that, you immediately kind of like get rid of all the bloat. You kind of like lose a couple pounds, and like the scale reflects a massive change, even though it's not as massive of a change. Like if you implement big dietary changes, the scale will say you lost 8 pounds, but you didn't actually. You lost 2, and there's like the rest of it's like salt and water or whatever. But still, it feels good to do that. And like and you'll see like a tiny tangible change in your body, and that is really motivating and can set you off on a good path. Like they say it takes, X amount of time to kick a bad habit. It can be a couple weeks, I don't know, a week. I forget exactly what they say, but if you think about it, that's not that long of a period of time, but it's still really hard not to do your bad habits for even just a couple of days. So once you can get over the hump there, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can build up momentum and like make changes if that's what you want to do. I'm not saying that I even necessarily want to. Like, I would say like I would probably prefer to be probably 20 pounds ish skinnier, and just see like how I looked and how I felt. And like, I suspect I'd feel way better physically, and any ailments that I have would probably magically feel a little bit better. And they say in general, like having a BMI within the appropriate range is just really good for your longevity in life. I think it's like 25 to 29 and a half or something. Do you know anything about BMI?
No, I don't.
I forget. But like, and that, regardless of whether you're really muscular or not, like still, they say that like being in the appropriate BMI range for your height is like really good for you. So I'm interested in that at the very least. But I wouldn't say it's like my goal per se, but I'd like to see how I felt. So maybe it is a little bit.
20 pounds, 10-day water fast, Lynch.
You won't keep it off. 20, that's way too.
Yeah, you won't.
It's not good to lose too much weight in a short period of time.
Yeah, agreed.
You can't keep it off. So anyway, whatever. If you guys are thinking about doing any of this kind of stuff, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say about it. Ted, thanks for coming on the show. Where can we find you?
Thank you guys very much for having me. This is great. Always love seeing both of you. You guys are doing a great job over here. And Lynch, congrats on you're on the logo now, dude.
Thank you.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it, guys. You guys can find me at Ted Jones World. Perform in New York City almost every single night. And yeah, guys, go check me out over there. I'm on a lot of social media apps right now. I know GIULIO's plugging along on Snapchat too. So we're on every single app. But thanks so much, guys. This was great.
All right, thanks. Check out Ted Jones World. He's got a pod too. Check that out. I am at NotJulio, at NotJulioG, TikTok and Snapchat. I have a bunch of tour dates. Check out my link in my bio, as well as just go to my website, notjulio.com. Follow us at Oops Podcast. Email us, oops.podcast@gmail.com. Follow my YouTube channel, putting out way more videos this year. Not Julio, Giulio Gallerati. Check it out. And Lynchy, what's up?
Yeah, Ron is really polite on all social for shows and content, and we'll see you guys later.